So this is the Willie Lynch Letter, the making of a slave. And I'm going to try to decode this letter so people can understand what's going on today and why so much hate. Because I did ask that question and I kept hearing about this letter. I never ever, no one never read it. Nobody never put it out there, no nothing. So that's what I'm going to do today. Because when I read this, I felt like a fool. Because the stuff that's going on today, it is crazy. But you also have to research after research, okay? And I'm going to tell you that after I read this letter. Let me tell you that first. Okay. This is, I have to put my glasses on because this is when I get serious, right? So anyway, the Willie Lynch Letter, the making of a slave. This speech was delivered by Willie Lynch on the bank of James River Colony in Virginia in 1712. Pay attention. Lynch was a British slave owner in the West Indies. He was invited to the colony of Virginia in 1712 to teach his methods to slave owners there. The term lynching is derived from his last name. Okay? December 25th, 1712. Gentlemen, I greet you, Lynch, here on the bank of the James River in the year of our Lord 1712. First, I shall thank you, the gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I am here to help you solve some of your problems with slaves. Your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, where I have experimented with some of the newest and still the oldest methods for control of slaves. Ancient Romans would envy us if my program is implemented. Okay? As our boat sailed south on the James River, named the illustrious king, whose version of the Bible we cherish, I saw enough to know that your problem is not unique. While Rome used cords of wood and crosses for standing human bodies along the highways in great numbers, you are here using the tree and the rope on occasions. I caught a whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree a couple miles back. Okay? You are not only losing valuable stock by hanging, you are having slaves. You are having uprisings. Slaves are running away. Your crops are sometimes left in the fields too long for maximum profit. You suffer occasional fires. Your animals are killed. Gentlemen, you know what your problems are? I don't need to elaborate. I am not to enumerate your problems. I am here to introduce you to a method of solving them. In my bag, I have foolproof method for controlling your black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. 300 years from 1712 is 2012, right? My method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of different among the slaves and make the differences bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control. If I'm spitting, I'm sorry. I'm only human. These methods has worked on the modest plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about them. On top of my list is age, but it's only there because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade. There is intelligence, size, sex, size of plantation, and status on plantations. Attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley, on a hill, east, west, north, south, have fine hair, coarse hair, or attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley, on a hill, east, west, north, I did that already, or is tall or short. Now you have a list of differences, right? So the first thing they did, okay, is they started separating people with shades. Like, I would never ever again say, look at that light skinned dude, or these light skinned and all that, because that's what they're talking about, right? And if you look at like on Facebook, what y'all think is innocent, it is not innocent. They're constantly separating people with shade. That's why you hear old school. That's why the youngins don't listen to the old school, right? That don't apply to nobody else. We the only ones that look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? Because we street, we hood, and they playing our pride against each other, right? And I'm telling y'all this, y'all need to wake up. So like these emojis that y'all think is innocent, what that's doing is differentiating. It's self-identifying, right? So when instead of putting a white emoji, you know, like, that's not my skin color, I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna make this brown. That's separation. It's called manipulation without you even knowing, right? So I'm just trying to break this stuff down to you, man. Got that. Okay, these methods have worked on my mighty plantation in the West Indies and will work throughout the South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about them. On top of that, I did that. Okay, blah, 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 blah. And fine here, okay. Now that you have all the difference, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I should assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, and envy is stronger than adulation, right? Adulation, respect, and admiration. The black slaves, after receiving the indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, and the young black male against the young black male. Wait, where was that? Young black male against the old black male. You must use dark-skinned slave versus light-skinned slave, and the light-skinned slave versus the dark-skinned slave. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. You must also have you must also have you white servants and slaves. You must use the female versus the male and the male versus the female. You must also have you white servants and overseers distrust all black. The overseers distrust all blacks, right? It is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust us. Gentlemen, these kids are your key to control. Use them. Have your wife and children use them. Never miss an opportunity. I use intensely for 1 year. The slaves themselves remain perpetual distrustful of each other, right? So they have created something a long time ago that will have us hating, doing exactly what we're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? And we don't even know why, right? And nobody never broke this down, right? Now, this part, let's make a slave, okay? It was the interest and business of slaveholders to study human nature, and the slave nature is in particular. With a view to practical results, I and many of them attained astonishing proficiency in this direction. They had to deal not with earth, wood, and stone, but with men, and by every regard they had for their own safety and prosperity, they needed to know the material on which they were working. Conscious of the injustice and wrong they were every hour perpetuating, and knowing that they themselves would do, were the victims of such wrongs. Okay? They were constantly looking for the first signs of dreaded retribution. They watched, therefore, with skilled and practiced eyes, and learned to read with great accuracy. Okay, that's what they did not want us to do, is learn how to read. The state of mind and heart of the slave.